Namaste. A very good evening to you all, ladies and gentlemen.
My name is Padmini Srinivas. On behalf of the High Commission of India, Kuala Lumpur, it's my immense pleasure to welcome you all to the virtual celebrations of the 7th edition of the International Day of Yoga. As you're all aware, it's almost been a year since the global pandemic hit us and the restrictions it has brought along. People globally are trying to adapt to what we call as the new normal. The pandemic has also influenced and changed the way people celebrate major events. That's the reason why we bring to you today virtually the 7th edition of International Day of Yoga. As we all know, International Day of Yoga is an annual event. The United Nations General Assembly on December 11, 2014 announced that June 21st will be celebrated as International Day of Yoga or World Yoga Day. Since 2015, International Day of Yoga has been celebrated worldwide. Keeping in mind the MCO and the related SOPs, High Commission of India is celebrating this year's Yoga Day virtually. Ladies and gentlemen, we will begin today's program with the speech of His Excellency Shri Mridul Kumar, High Commissioner of India to Malaysia.
A very good evening to all the yoga enthusiasts in Malaysia. On behalf of the Indian High Commission and on behalf of the Indian Cultural Center in Kuala Lumpur, I bring greetings and warm wishes to our yoga friends in Malaysia and in India on the occasion of the International Day of Yoga 2021. Like in the past years, we will be celebrating International Day of Yoga with our partner organizations, with Tamil schools, with Gopio and other like-minded organizations in a very befitting manner. Dear friends, you will recall that it was the Government of India under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi that took this proposal of declaring 21st June as the International Day of Yoga by the United Nations. Through the efforts of Government of India, the UN decided to celebrate 21st June as the International Day of Yoga, and in 2015 it was the first time that this event was done. Since then, it is the 7th year in running. The popularity of yoga, the number of people who have joined this wonderful practice has increased by many folds. Yoga has become the theme of the day, and we are thankful to the Ministry of Ayush, to our Honorable Prime Minister and to the Government of India for bringing such large awareness about the benefits of yoga to the humanity. The composite mind, body, soul spectrum that it deals with and it enhances brings the benefit of yoga to the entire people worldwide. In these times of pandemic, yoga assumes a great relevance. When we are unable to connect with each other in a one-on-one manner, and when we are confined within the four walls of our house, it is yoga that provides us mental solace, that provides us the happiness of spirituality, and that also keeps us fit physically. I am thankful to our yoga teacher in the Indian Cultural Center, Shri Khemchandji Gupta, who has done a wonderful work in the last 4 years to ensure that the number of yoga followers in Malaysia continue to increase and the yoga practice become more and more popular. I'm very happy to announce that in 2019, we had almost 15,000 people which participated in our physical programs in Malaysia, in different locations. We had almost 50 Tamilian schools which had students doing these exercises. Regrettably, due to COVID situation in 2020, we could not do the yoga in that grand fashion, but our online programs, which were very ably crafted by the yoga teacher Shri Khemchandji Gupta, they were liked and they were followed. These programs are available on Indian High Commission website as also on our social media platform, and which have been used in the last 1 year by a number of yoga enthusiasts in Malaysia. I would urge you all to join us in our virtual celebrations organized by the Indian Cultural Center in Kuala Lumpur in partnership with the Indian High Commission and other organizations at 6 p.m. in the evening on the 21st June. Our like-minded organizations and partners will join with us throughout the month of June and July in a large number of programs to mark the International Day of Yoga. With these words, I wish you all a very happy International Day of Yoga, and I hope and pray that the practice of yoga brings health, happiness, peace and comfort in our lives. May we pray for collective healing. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kashte bhuk bhag bhagvet. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. High Commission of India has always been in the forefront to ensure that yoga reaches the wider audience in Malaysia. And in the present day scenario, people are increasingly acknowledging the benefits of yoga in boosting immunity and also maintaining good health. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Cultural Center has been conducting regular online classes since the pandemic began last year. Keeping in line with the goal of a healthy world, we now present to you a demonstration by Shri Khemchand Gupta ji, the NSCB ICC yoga teacher, along with his senior students, Ms. Ujala Bairagi, Ms. G. Subhashri, Ms. Selvi Kandaiya, Mr. Rajat Kanti Roy, Ms. Saumya Jamgi. This demonstration, following the guidelines of the Common Yoga Protocol, will be a combination of 4 Chalan Kriyas, which means light exercises, comprising of 15 asanas, 1 cleansing process, 2 pranayama and meditation. We now present to you Shri Khemchand Gupta ji along with his senior students.
Namaste. Today we are celebrating 7th International Day of Yoga. Let's practice this ancient Indian science and explore the benefits of yoga. Assume a comfortable posture, either Padmasana, Ardha Padmasana or Sukhasana. With a straight back, perform Chin Mudra with your hands. Gently close the eyes. Draw your attention on your breath. Your breath moves your body. Inhalation rises your chest. Exhalation drops your shoulders. Soften your jaws. Rest your tongue on the lower plate. Bring a beautiful smile on your face. Make yourself relaxed physically and mentally. Yogic practices should start with a prayer or prayerful mood. Do prepare your body and mind for yoga sadhana that keeps you healthy, happy and stress free. Gently open your eyes. Let's begin the session with Chalan Kriyas or Sukshma Vyayam, which improves microcirculation. Chalan Kriyas can be done in sitting or standing position. First is neck rotation. Breathe out and bend your head forward. We will do 2 rounds from right to left first. Slowly rotate your neck. This neck movement relieves your stiffness, pain. Reverse. Breath should be normal. Relax, keep your head straight. Next is Skandha Chakra, shoulders rotation. We will do 5 rounds. So fold your hands, place your palms on your shoulders. Now rotate clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Release your hands. Release your Padmasana or Ardha Padmasana. Please stand up. Make your mind for Kati Shakti Vikasak. Take 2 feet distance between your feet. Raise your hands up to chest level, palm facing each other. Breathe out and twist your trunk to the right. Slowly and gently turn your head, gaze at the right thumb. Posture induces a feeling of lightness. Your breath should be normal. Pull up your kneecaps, tighten your thighs. Inhale and slowly come back. Exhale, breathe out and twist your trunk to the left. Turn your head, look at the left thumb. Both legs should be straight, breath should be normal. It makes your spine flexible. Inhale and slowly come back. Bring down your hands, legs together and relax. Next is knee movements. A word of caution: avoid the practice in acute condition of arthritis. Let's practice. Feet apart a little according to your shoulders breadth. Inhale and raise your hands up to chest level. Breathe out, bend your knees till thighs are parallel to the floor, back upright. Palms and thighs should be parallel to the floor. It improves stamina, reduces fat in thigh and calf muscles. Inhale and slowly come back. Bring down your hands, relax. Let's proceed towards the asanas. Tadasana, palm tree pose or mountain pose. Posture teaches one to attain stability and forms the base for all standing postures. A word of caution: avoid raising the heels in case of arthritis, vertigo or cardiac problems. So bring your legs together, interlock your fingers, stretch your hands straight over the head, raise your ribs, open your armpits, elongate your spine. After that, inhale and raise your heels, stand on your toes. Posture brings stability, firmness, clears up congestion of spinal nerves, corrects your faulty posture. Exhale, bring down your heels, hands, turn down your palm and come back. Relax. Now make your mind for Vrikshasana, tree pose. Avoid the posture in case of arthritis, vertigo, obesity and varicose veins. Let's practice Vrikshasana. Bring your legs together. Fold your right leg at the knee. Place your right foot at the root of the thigh. Put your palms in Namaskar position. Inhale and stretch your hands straight over the head. It improves neuromuscular coordination, balance, endurance, alertness. Bring down your hands slowly, release your leg. Similarly, we will practice left leg. Fold your left leg, place on the right thigh. Put your palms together in Namaskar position. Inhale and stretch your hands. It strengthens inner ears and eyes. Exhale and bring down your hands. Release your left leg. Relax. Next posture, Ardha Chakrasana. Ardha means half. In this posture, the body takes the shape of half wheel, hence the name. A word of caution: avoid the posture in case of hernia and cardiac problems. Let's practice Ardha Chakrasana. So legs apart, 1.5 feet. Place your palms on your waistline, fingers forward. Roll your shoulders, lift your sternum. Inhale, bend your head, stretch the neck muscles and bend your body from your lumbar. Both legs should be straight. Balance your body weight on your toes and heels. Tuck your shoulder blades in. Benefits are, it makes your spine flexible, strengthens spinal nerves, helps in cervical spondylitis. Exhale and slowly come back. Release your hands and relax. Now we will practice Pad Hastasana. Pad means feet, Hasta means hands. Therefore, take your hands towards the feet. It is known as Uttanasana also. Avoid this posture in case of severe back pain and during pregnancy. Let's practice Padhastasana. Legs together or keep little apart. Raise your hands. Stretch maximum. Breathe out and slowly bend forward from your lumbar. Rest your palms beside your feet. Keep your legs straight. Both legs should be straight and balance your body weight on your toes and heels. It makes your spine flexible, improves blood flow to the hypothalamus, pineal, pituitary, thyroid, parathyroid and thymus gland. Abdominal organs are massaged very effectively. Hold your ankles, breathe out and touch your forehead to the knees. Inhale and slowly come up. Feel the impact of the posture. Bring down your hands from the shoulders line. Turn your palm and come down. Relax. Now make your mind for Trikonasana, triangle pose. Avoid the posture in case of sciatica pain, slip disc and after abdominal surgery. Let's practice Trikonasana. So take 4 feet distance. Right foot 90 degree to the right. Raise your hands up to shoulder level. Lock your knees. Breathe out and slowly bend your body to the right. Place your right palm just behind your foot. Open your chest, stretch the left arm up, turn your head and look at the left thumb. Your breast should be normal, both legs should be straight. Do you experience the impact of the posture on your body? It prevents flat feet. It tones respiratory and digestive organs. Breath should be normal. Inhale and slowly come back. Right foot in, left foot out. Breathe out and slowly bend your body to the left. Rest your palms just behind your foot. Both legs should be straight. Open your chest, turn your head and look at the right thumb. It tones calf, thighs and waist muscles. Breath should be normal. Inhale and slowly come back. Bring down your hands and legs together. Now sit in Vajrasana. Avoid Vajrasana in case of arthritis and piles. Sit in Vajrasana, fold your legs. Rest your butts between your heels, palms on your thighs, back upright, and gently close the eyes. Vajrasana improves your digestion if we practice after the meal. Breath should be normal. Next posture is Ustrasana. Ustra means camel. In the final position, body resembles the hump of a camel, hence the name. Avoid the posture in case of hernia and during pregnancy. Slowly open your eyes, stand on your knees, keep knees apart. Inhale and take backward bending. Take your right hand back, hold your right heel. Take your left hand back, hold your left heel. Drop your head. Stretch your neck muscles. Posture tones entire spine, broadens the chest, expands the lungs. It reduces fat on your thighs and hips. Exhale, release your left hand, place on your left thigh. Right hand, place on your right thigh. Sit in Vajrasana. Relax. Close your eyes. Rest your palms on your thighs. Focus on your breath. Now make your mind for Shashank Asana. Shashank means rabbit. Open your knees as wide as possible. Place your palms in front of your body on your mat and walk on your fingers. Stretch your hands. Make sure your hands are straight. Rest your butts on your heels and forehead on your mat. It quietens the mind, removes physical and mental fatigue, tones adrenals and eyelid of longer hands. Breath should be normal. Inhale and slowly come back. Bring your knees together and relax. Release your Vajrasana from the left. Keep your legs straight. Rest your palms beside your hips, back upright. Now make your mind for Bhadrasana, auspicious pose. So fold your both legs at the knees, bring the soles of the feet together and bring your heels close to the groin area as much as possible. Clasp your feet, widen your knees, back upright, close the eyes and follow your breath. Posture keeps your spine firm and stabilize the mind. It strengthens knees and hip joints, prevents arthritis. Slowly release your legs. Keep your legs straight. Relax. Now make your mind for Vakrasana, twisting pose. Vakra means twisted. In this posture, spine is twisted, which has rejuvenating effect on its function. Avoid the practice in case of peptic ulcer and during pregnancy. So fold your right leg, ankle bone and knee bone together. Keep your right hand behind your back for the support. Bring your left hand over the right knee. Hold your ankle, then keep your left leg straight and twist your trunk to the right. Breath should be normal. You may close your eyes. It improves liver efficiency, removes deability of kidneys. Inhale, keep your head straight, release your left hand, right hand and right leg. Similarly, we will practice with the left leg. So fold your left leg, ankle bone and knee bone together. Keep your left hand back. Bring your right hand over the left knee. Hold your ankle, then twist your trunk to the left. Breath should be normal. Keep your eyes closed. It stimulates the beta cells of the pancreas, plays an important role in management of diabetes. Inhale, keep your head straight, release your right hand, left hand and left leg. Now take prone position. Stretch your hands forward, maximum join your legs. Make your mind for Bhujangasana in the final position of this posture. The upper body is raised like a hood of cobra, hence the name. Avoid the posture during pregnancy. Now make your mind, fold your hands and place your palms close to your chest. Inhale, raise your head slowly, chest up to navel. Take your head as far back as possible. Join your feet. This is the best pose for stress management. It reduces abdomen fat and alleviates constipation. Exhale and come down. Now take rest in Makrasana, legs apart, toes out, fold your hands, place your palms one over other and rest your forehead on the top of the palms. Have a little deeper abdominal breathing. Visceral organs are massaged very effectively. Promotes the relaxation of lower back, indicated to counter stress and anxiety. Slowly come back. Bring your legs together, hands with your body. Next posture is Shalvasana, locust pose. Those who are suffering cardiac problem should not practice this posture. Close your fists, place them under your thighs. Inhale and raise both the legs as high as possible without bending. Breath should be normal. It tones your cardiac muscles and opens alveoli. That means it improves your lungs capacity. Exhale and come down. Take out your hands. Stretch your hands forward maximum. Then change your body position. Take supine position. Legs together, hands with your body. Relax yourself. Now make your mind for Uttan Padasana. Uttan means raised, Pad means legs. So in this posture, legs are raised at 45 degrees. Avoid the posture in case of severe back pain, sciatica pain or slip disc. Those who are suffering ulcer should not practice this. So bring your legs together, hands with your body, and raise both the legs slowly at 45 degrees. Benefits are posture balances navel center. It tones your visceral organs, makes them healthy. Exhale and slowly come down. Relax. Take rest in Shavasana. Slowly come back. Bring your legs together, hands with your body. Make your mind for Setu Bandhasana. Setu Bandh means formation of a bridge. In the final position, the body is positioned like a bridge, hence the name. Avoid the posture at the advanced stage of pregnancy, hernia. Let's practice Setu Bandhasana. Fold your both legs. Bring your heels close to butts. Feet apart according to your shoulders breadth. Inhale and raise your butts slowly. Hold your back with your hands and raise your heels. Keep your feet parallel. Pull your tummy in. It improves blood flow to the heart. It relieves depression, anxiety, and strengthens back muscles. Slowly bring down your heels, release your hands, lower your back and keep your legs straight. Relax. Next posture is Pavan Muktasana. Pavan means wind, Mukta means to make free or release. Avoid the posture during pregnancy. Those who are suffering ulcer should not practice it also. So fold your both legs, bring your knees close to chest, hug your knees, breathe out and raise your head, touch your chin between the knees. Inhale, bring down your head, release your finger lock, feet on the floor and keep your legs straight. Benefits are, posture is very useful in removing wind and flatulence. Now we will take rest in Shavasana. So legs apart, comfortable distance between the legs. Keep your hands 6 inches apart from your body. Palm facing upward. Let the fingers curl up slightly. Gently close the eyes. Place your body on your mat with reverence. Your body is a precious gift of the nature. Honor it, respect it. We will make a journey from toes to head by visualizing each part of the body. Take the awareness on your toes, relax your toes, feet, relax your feet, ankles, relax your ankles. Proceed to your calf muscles, relax your calf muscles, shin bones, knees, back of the knees, thighs, relax each nerve of the thighs, groins, abdomen, relax your abdomen. Now proceed to the chest, relax your chest, ribs, ribs cage, collarbones, shoulders, relax your shoulders, arms, elbows, forearms, palms and fingers, fingertips. Take your attention on your back, Relax your back from tailbone to the cervical. Relax your shoulder blades around the neck. Now relax your face muscles, chin, lips, ears, eyes, nose and forehead. Finally, top of the head. Our body is made up billions and trillions cells. Relax each cell of the body, each tissue of the body, each organ of the body, each system of the body, each limb of the body. Relax the whole body, relax the whole body, relax the whole body. After body awareness, we will do prana dharana, breathing awareness. Draw your attention at the tip of the nostrils and follow your incoming and outgoing breath without any effort. Slow, soft, easy inhalation and exhalation. Keep your mind at the entrance of the nostrils. Shavasana helps to heal depression, anxiety, frustration, high blood pressure and insomnia. It cures nervous weakness, tiredness and negative thinking. The body and mind get rest, power, zeal and happiness. It calms the central nervous system and improves your digestion. Experience the serenity of mind, lightness of the body. Slowly become aware of the body and surroundings. Bring your legs together, turn your body right and take sitting position. Assume Padmasana or Ardha Padmasana, back upright. Chin mudra with your hands and relax your eyes. Now we will practice one cleansing process, that is Kapalbhati. There are two words, Kapal and Bhati, where Kapal means forehead and Bhati means glow or shine. Hence Kapalbhati is an exercise that brings glow on forehead. It is beautifully explained by Swami Swatmaram ji in Hat Pradipka. Bhastravallokarasya Rech Puro Sasam Brahmo Kapal Bhatir Vikhyata Kaf Dosh Pradoshani. That means rapid performance of inhalation and exhalation like the bellows of a blacksmith is Kapalbhati, well known as the destroyers of disorders caused by flame. It rejuvenates the body, keep your face young and vibrant. It activates the liver, pancreas, spleen and abdominal muscles. Brain and nervous system are cleansed. Mucus is expelled from the lungs, so lungs are also cleansed. It improves concentration and prepares your body for meditation. Technique: take a deep breath through the nostrils, expand the chest. After that, expel the breath with forceful contraction of abdomen muscles. Relax your abdomen, let it come down. So, air will glide slowly and passively in lungs. Repeat the same action of inhalation and exhalation. Let's practice 20 stroke of Kapalbhati. Inhale. Stop it. Sit with closed eyes. A large amount of carbon dioxide is washed out from the bloodstream. Experience the serenity of mind. Let's take another round. 20 stroke. Inhale. Exhale forcefully and stop it. A person feels relaxed and calm even after short practice of Kapalbhati. Let's proceed towards pranayam. Pranayam, according to Maharshi Patanjali, tasmin sati swans praswans yor gati vichcheda pranayam. That means a slight pause brought in the regular inhalation and exhalation is pranayama. Benefits of pranayama according to Maharshi Patanjali: tat khyate prakash avanam. That means as wind drives away smoke and impurities from the atmosphere, and its inherent quality to burn the impurities and purifies the area. Similarly, pranayama is a divine fire which cleanses organs, systems, mind, intellect and ego. Today we will practice Nadi Shodhan Pranayam. Nadi is a tubular organ like an artery or veins. Shodhan means purifying and cleansing. Hence, the main purpose of Nadi Shodhan Pranayam is to purify the principal channels carrying energy called nadis. Benefits: it balances both the hemisphere and all four quarters. Induces tranquility and improves concentration. Increases vitality and lowers the level of stress and anxiety. It alleviates cough disorders. Let's practice 5-round Nadi Shodhan Pranayam. So make Pranayam Mudra with the right hand and close your right nostril with the thumb. Inhale through left, close your left nostril with the ring finger and exhale through right. After exhalation, inhale through right, fill your lungs up to brim and close your right nostril with the thumb, exhale through left. So complete your 5 rounds. Complete your 5 rounds. Last exhalation through your left nostril and relax. Next is Bhramari Pranayam. The word Bhramari is derived from Bhramar, which means a black bee. In this pranayam, the humming sound is produced like a bee. We will practice 5-round Bhramari Pranayam in Shambhavi Mudra. So plug the ears, rest your index finger on your eyebrow, middle finger on your eyes, but keep it gently. Ring finger close to the nostrils and little finger close to your lips. After that, inhale deeply, exhale in a controlled manner while producing humming sound like a bee. 5 rounds. After 5 rounds, bring down your hands, rest on your knees, perform Chin Mudra, relax your eyes, experience the serenity of mind, the benefits of Bhramari Pranayam. It relieves cerebral tension, alleviates anger, anxiety, frustration. It tones pineal gland, improves your memory. During the research, it is found that Bhramari Pranayam produces nitric oxide, which has anti-properties of virus, bacteria. Now we will do meditation. Meditation is the seventh component of Ashtanga Yoga. Generally, an ordinary person thinks that meditation is a religious matter or a worship. Meditation, according to Maharshi Patanjali, tatra pratyekta nata dhyanam. That means a continuous flow of the attention towards a point or an object is meditation. Today we will practice meditation in Shambhavi Mudra. Back upright, keep your shoulders even, breathing normally, lips are closed but teeth slightly open. Draw your attention on your breath. Just feel your breath, feel your incoming and outgoing breath. Then gently take your attention between the eyebrows on your third eye, Agnya Chakra or Guru Chakra. Just take your attention deep inside, deep behind the Agnya Chakra. Keep gentle attention. Meditation is an integral part of Yoga Sadhana. It removes negative emotions such as anger, anxiety, frustration, depression, and develops positive emotions. It rejuvenates the whole body and mind and gives them complete rest. It transforms a person from human being to superhuman being. In the end, let's chant a prayer for universal peace and happiness. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayu Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashe Dukbhag Bhavesh. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Meaning of this prayer: may all become happy here, may all be free from illness, may all know what is auspicious, may no one suffer the pain. Om, peace, peace, peace. Rub your palms, place on your eyes, give gentle massage to the eyes and slowly open your eyes. I hereby do appeal my Malaysian brothers and sisters and the whole world, please do accept this ancient Indian science, the yoga. It rejuvenates the body and mind and keeps you healthy, happy and stress-free. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Gupta ji, for the very beneficial asanas that you have demonstrated today. I'm sure it will be very useful for us for our daily practice. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, we have come to the conclusion of the 7th edition of the International Day of Yoga. I would like to thank His Excellency Shri Mridul Kumar, High Commissioner of India to Malaysia, Srimati Archana Nair, Deputy High Commissioner of India to Malaysia, Shri Nishit Kumar Ujwal, the Acting Director of NSCB ICC and Councillor, officers and colleagues from the High Commission of India and NSCB ICC. A special mention of Shri Kemchand Gupta ji along with his senior students for the wonderful demonstration.
Special thanks to Mr. N.G. Nityanand for the technical support rendered. High Commission of India would also like to convey their special thanks to the Ministry of Ayush and ICCR for their overall support.
Last but not the least, I would like to thank you all for joining us virtually in these celebrations. We hope and pray for everyone's well-being at the time of this crisis. Till we see you next time, stay safe and take care. Namaste, Jai Hind.